Hello and welcome to Business Advisory and Tax Tips. I'm Michelle Burke, coming to you live from Annapolis, Maryland. After 30 years in the corporate tax world, in January I went out on my own and formed Health and Taxes. There are only two things certain in life: death and taxes. I'm here to help you flip the switch on aging and keep the IRS at bay. Today, we focus on business advice and tax tips. I'm going to give you first an update on the first stimulus, an update on what's going on with what we're calling the skinny bill, and there's just a reminder to all the business and self-employed people out there that estimates are due. So first, give me a second to, oops. All right, sorry about that. I just had to update something. So first, let's talk about the first economic stimulus. So the reason I'm bringing that up is that 160 million people got their stimulus checks, but 9 million are still outstanding. And so the IRS, a minimum of 9 million. So the IRS planned to send out a letter, and that letter is going to look like this. Let me show you real quickly, in case you get one of these, clearly coming from the IRS. But this letter will be going out to 9 million different taxpayers who are non-filers. So in 18 and 19, they didn't need to file because they were below the minimum filing requirements, but they needed to go into the IRS website, into non-filers, and put the information in the system for the IRS to issue that first stimulus check. So keep in mind the stimulus check, it was under the CARES Act, and it's really called the Economic Impact Payment, so EIP. So when you get this letter and it's talking about economic impact payment, it's really talking about that first stimulus check that was $1,200 per person, or $2,400 for married couples. As long as you qualified. So what you need to do is either wait for your letter or just go ahead and go now. So you can go to irsgov.eip, and I will add that here in a minute, so that I'll add that in the comments so that you can see it. And then go into non-filers and put your information in there. So this is an attempt by the IRS to still get $9 million more taxpayers under that first stimulus check. If for some reason you need to get this done by October 15th to receive the payment before the end of this calendar year. If for some reason you still don't get that in, you will need to file a return in 2021 for 2020, even though you're not required, so you can ask for the credit and get your first stimulus check. So if you have any questions on that, please comment below, and I'm happy to help you with that. The second thing I'm here to talk about is the second stimulus. So the senators all came back, and yesterday they created or drafted under Mitch McConnell a Safe to Work Act, which is called the skinny bill. The reason it's called the skinny bill is because it's a $500 billion bill. Remember that they were previously at a $1.3 trillion bill for Republicans, and the Democrat House side had a $2.5 trillion proposal. So this $500 bill is being called a skinny bill, and the things that it includes are, first and foremost, federal unemployment of $300 a week through 12/27/2020. So yes, the presidential mandate came out and are making that, but this will give it congressional approval. Second is the second thing in the skinny bill is a second round of the PPP for the small business. There's $257 billion in there for that. There's also funding for business and schools, there's also funding for schools. There's also a 2-year credit for homeschooling and private schools to parents for the cost of those homeschooling costs and private schooling. Very limited details on what that's all about. There's $10 billion going as a grant to the post office. There's $20 billion going to farmers aid. There's $16 billion going to COVID testing and contact tracing. And there's $31 billion going to COVID vaccine research and distribution. And earlier I meant to say that business and schools will have that enhanced liability protection. That's a thought I didn't complete just a minute ago. So what is missing from the skinny bill, and why is it too skinny? The biggest thing missing is that there's no second stimulus check, right? We are really expecting that. So why isn't that second stimulus check in there? Good question. Let's see how all this falls out when the senators vote on this bill tomorrow. The other things that are missing are the extension of the federal eviction protection. There's no assistance to essential workers. There's no state or local funding aid to the states and localities. And there's no student loan forbearance or interest forgiveness. So there's some really big items that aren't in the skinny bill. So stay tuned. Let's see if this passes the Senate tomorrow, or if it goes to the House. And then the House can always come back and propose a lot of these items. So stay tuned. Still more to come. So then I wanted to reach out to the self-employed, the small business owner, and remind everybody that third quarter estimates are due September 15th. So that is next Tuesday. So that's anybody that includes retirees and others that have income that's not subject to automatic withholding. So those estimated payments are due. So just a reminder to reach out to your CPA or your tax accountant, or feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, and I'm happy to help you out. So just as a reminder, I come to you every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern with some business advice and tax tips. I'm happy to entertain questions. I'm happy to hear suggestions on topics to bring you information that you would like. Thanks, Faith, for joining in. Hope you got some value out of this. So just comment below. I'm happy to help you out, or just direct message me, and I will answer any questions or be of help and service to you. Otherwise, please join in next week, hopefully with the Senate and House all back in session. We'll get a little further along on this whole stimulus discussion. So thanks for joining in, and have a good night.